Hello, good morning, friends. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. Welcome to the Michael D Show. I'm glad you're here. Very excited about having you here today. It's Tuesday morning, and I just want to say welcome back to the Michael D Show. We sort of took a little summer hiatus, and we're back. This is the last Tuesday of the third quarter. We're going into the fourth quarter on this coming Tuesday, and really excited to be back with you. So, welcome to the Michael D Show, where we talk about all things faith, family, business, and culture. You know, I run a global book publishing company and a global nonprofit. So there are so many stories coming across our desk and through the team every week, launching multiple books, telling you about exciting upcoming things. We just got back from Miss Universe Canada. That was epic. Just got back from New York speaking at NASDAQ. That was epic. Just got back from Miami, Florida for a business conference and 10X Ladies. That was also epic. So we have some very exciting guests lined up today. Every 10 a.m. Central on the Michael D Show. I want to know where you're watching from, so just pop it in the chat. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on LinkedIn or wherever it might be, just let us know where you're watching from, what your city and state is, and then you're going to be able to ask our guests questions. Upcoming guests include he was born and raised in Iran. He became an entrepreneur in California, and now he leads a thriving men's business group in Toronto, Ontario. His name is Nikki Ballou. He'll be with us today or next week. Her name is Karina Curry. She's the best-selling author of Awakening, A Journey from Medication to Meditation. She grew up in Brazil. She's got an amazing story of how she immigrated to Texas, and she's changing women with her coaching and sharing her story. So we've got amazing guests. I'm going to update you with what's going on at Beyond Publishing, with what's going on at 1040 Impact, with what's going on the Michael D TV show as we travel the globe and share with you the amazing stories that our authors are creating. In fact, there's two author events happening this weekend, one on the left coast, one on the right coast, one in Florida, one in California. We'll let you know a little bit more about those. We might even have the guest hosts, Lisa Bubari and Gigi Sabit, pop in and say hey in a little bit. But before we fully dive into all of that, I just want to share a little clip of the speaking at NASDAQ that happened about a week and a half ago. So I was asked to speak. I was asked to deliver a keynote and to share my story. So I'm going to share my screen so I can share my story. We shared about 1040 Impact. We shared about our 375 safe house girls that we've rescued from human trafficking. And we shared about the Beyond Publishing stories of our authors that are making a big impact around the world. So grab a pen, grab your coffee or whatever you're drinking, invite a friend to join the Michael D Show, and we're going to dive right in. But first, let's take a little peek in that Big Apple where they were having the US Open and where we were sharing at NASDAQ just a week and a half ago. So I'm going to share my entire screen and let's go to New York City. All right, it doesn't look like the screen is sharing, but I will share the link in the chat in a moment. So that was a great speech at NASDAQ. We had a number of authors come in from around the world and around the globe and around the country sharing and speaking. Thank you, Dan Snell. Good to hear from you in Kansas City, one of our authors who's going to be popping in soon and sharing with us a winsome update, a winsome report. Hey, here in a little bit, we're going to have the best-selling author of Awakening, A Journey from Medication to Meditation. That's right. She's going to be here. Karina Curry is going to be in the house. Good to see you, Emily. Okay, Laramie, Wyoming in the house. So glad to have Laramie, Wyoming. Some great stuff there. Some great books launching from Emily Dunn and Elisa Cooper. So excited about that. So we're going to have Elisa on here in the next couple of weeks, and really glad that you're here. Really glad that you're weighing in. Really glad that you're sharing your stories on the Michael D Show, and so happy that you're here. Drop a comment. Let us know what's going on in your world. And I want to bring in the best-selling author all the way from Brazil. She's in Texas now. Karina Curry, welcome to the Michael D Show. Congratulations on your new book, Awakening, A Journey from Medication to Meditation. Thanks for joining us. How you doing, Karina?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you, Michael.
Now, tell us what inspired this book, Awakening, what prompted you to write it, and who did you write it for?
Well, I wrote for anyone that likes to read, but I think that at the time I was writing, I had in mind people who are going through the same struggles that I went through in my life, hard divorce, depression, single mom with children, no money, just, immigrating here to this country, feeling alone and with nobody to turn to. So just anybody going through a hard time, that needs to see that there is always light amongst the darkness. You can always find light if you really search for.
So was there a catalyst there? Was there a mentor? Was there a coach, or did you meet somebody that started you on this journey, or did you stumble across a book or something that helped you yourself?
So I did read many books since I started this journey, but what it really changed was a holistic coach. She changed my life. She opened my eyes to spirituality, holistic living, meditation, mindfulness. I was able to get off medication because of her, with her help. And so, and after that, I just started this journey of just reading and learning. And I was just really hungry to know more about all these topics, and just take charge of my own life and my own health.
How many meds were you on back in the day?
Oh my gosh. I was taking the highest dose of the antidepressants in the morning. Then I was in anti-anxiety, and then I was taking the highest dose of trazodone at night to sleep. And then I started having issues with my digestive system, so they put me on medication for that. By the time I was done, I was in 6 or 7. It was a cocktail of medication, 6 or 7. I was carrying a pharmacy with me.
Were you seeing more than one doctor at the time, or was all this prescribed by the same doctor?
No, I was seeing multiple doctors, because one was saying, oh, you're having gut issues, go see that doctor. And then they were like, oh, go see that doctor. So I was seeing like 3 different doctors at the time that would all prescribe me different medications, and nothing was really healing me, because medication may help you a short time, and it numbs your whole life, not just your pain, but you feel nothing, right? And your body starts, because there's tons and tons of side effects that the doctors don't tell you. So then your body start reacting, start having side effects. So they start giving you more medication for those side effects, and then I was not asking questions because I was just trying to survive. And that's what a lot of people do. They don't ask questions, and it's like, people need to realize that every medication has a side effect.
And so they're basically treating symptoms, and since you're seeing 3 doctors, they were not checking the contraindications and the reactions that it might have with the other medications you were on. And so you were taking pills for this, taking pills for that. You were dealing with all kinds of things. And when you decided to get off all the medication, what prompted that? Did you have a reaction, a breakdown? Did you just feel like you were about to die, or was it intuition?
Well, it was more intuition. And then I was like, at some point, even though it was on antidepressants, right? I would go, this is no way to live, like just taking medication to survive. And I don't feel like I'm not feeling joy. I'm not enjoying life. I'm just living, right?
Mhm.
So my coach, she's like, well, you need to take charge of your health, start asking questions. So I went to my psychiatrist and she's like, there's no way you can get off this medication. That is not a good idea. Would not let me do it, would not, accept the fact that I felt like I was ready. So I took charge and I started my own protocol, how to get off my medication. And now I take zero medication. I live a very holistic life. I eat very healthy. I exercise. I practice 2 hours a day of meditation. I am the happiest I've ever been.
Well, this is an exciting story. You're married to John. You've got an amazing husband that loves you and supports you. You coach women. You've got children. And how long ago? I mean, I guess a couple questions I have. How long did it take you to feel normal again? Did that happen overnight, or did that take some time? And then what kind of helped you get there quicker?
So no, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a continuous work. I mean, I'm still working on it. I mean, I still have days where I feel like, oh my gosh. But now I know how to shift my mindset, right? Because I was so inspired by Caroline, my holistic coach, that I wanted to pay it forward. So I became a holistic coach myself. So now I help people do what she done for me. I help people with the same tools. And but there's tons of things that I do and I teach people how to do it. And it was a slow process, but so worth it. It takes effort, it takes work, it takes you wanting, to get off I felt like I was plugged into the matrix. I was enslaved by pharmaceutical companies, and it took a little while, but I wouldn't do it. I would not change my life now for anything. Yes, I met 2 years ago. I got married to John, who's just a very supportive, loving husband. I have 2 children who are in college and they're just happy and everything is just great.
Well, congratulations. It was great to be with you and John recently at a conference where you actually were on stage. I know you love speaking, you love telling your story. The book is called Awakening: From Medication to Meditation. You're doing 2 interviews today, launching everywhere, releasing officially on the 30th. People can go to Amazon.com, pre-buy the ebook. The print books are going live later this week or today even, the hardcover, the paperback. I know you love coaching women. What are some of the things you teach women and you coach women that reach out to you and hear about you? How do you help women the most?
So I work with a lot of women who are going through the same things that I went through, right? Divorce, single mom. And I teach them what Caroline taught me. I teach them to be in charge of their life. You are in control of your own happiness. I teach them to raise their vibration. So if they want to find a partner in life, they would be in a happy state of a state of happiness, so they can attract people that are in the same state as they are. I teach them how to be better parents, how to live a very holistic life. It's like a mind body spirit connection that I work with them. It's not something that it's like one or 2 sessions you're done. I work on their whatever is going on with their life. I
So you
create
customize it based
programs.
on what's going on, and you transform them by customizing a program for them. Karina, what's the best way for clients to reach out to you, to get on your calendar and see if it's a good fit?
So my website, I offer a 30-minute free call, just to see if we're a good fit for each other. It's www.karina.life.
I love it. I love it. We're going to pop that into the chat here. We're going to pop it up on the screen. So you can share this with your friends, share this with your family. Now, who would be a good woman for you to work with? Is somebody going through depression, somebody that's on a lot of medications, or what are some of the signs? Do you deal with, eating disorders, cutting? You mentioned relationships. What are really some of the telltale signs? Because, I mean, let's face it, women are pretty strong and stoic, and they can go through a lot. I mean, you read stories about women lifting cars off of their children, and things like that. So women have this special gift from God that their mama bears. But I think a lot of time, I think back to my mom. She would get up at 5 o'clock, make us lunches, go to work all day. She's only slept a few hours a night, and she burned the candle at both ends. Now, fortunately, she's in good health now and 76 years old, and mom and dad are on zero meds. But I got to say that they had to work at that. But in the early years when they were burning the candle at both ends, I know mom needed some support. She needed some help, figuring life out. So what can somebody look for if they see what are some symptoms of a woman that's maybe not asking for help that should be kind of an indicator that they need to talk to you?
Well, if you're not waking up in the morning and going, yay, I get to live, you need a life coach. If you're just cruising through life, you're not living. You have to wake up and enjoy your life, because you only get one chance. This life is short, and you are this divine being living a human life, and this is a gift, right? So anybody that feels that they're not living their full potential, they're not as happy as they should be, that feel like they want to get into medication or they want to get out of medication, do not get on medication. Find other ways. There are tons of ways to find happiness without medication. If you're on medication, question your doctor, question why you're on medication. Also try holistic ways so you can get off medication, right? You're women who are dealing with the overwhelmed of having children, right? Having children is overwhelming. Mm-hmm. So if you feel overwhelmed by having children and dealing with all the soccer games and schools and stuff, and you're not taking time for yourself, women are amazing. And they need to be empowered. They need to know that they are amazing. So any woman out there who's not feeling great, come see me.
Come see you. There's a free consult. You're going to assess whether or not you can help them. You're going to give them 30 minutes of value assessing their situation. I think this is a lifeline, and it's all based on your book. It's based on your life experience, awakening from medication to meditation. And, we talk a lot about pharmaceuticals. I mean, we can't watch a football game or a show on television without being bombarded with 5 or 10 pharmaceutical commercials, right? And that's really the main money industry in the US, excuse me, I'm on no medication, is those pharmaceuticals. And, we're all into treating symptoms and short-term solutions, but I really love let food be thy medicine has been my mantra. I was blessed to grow up on the farm in Oklahoma. We grew a garden. We didn't use fertilizers, and now it's just kind of hard if you're buying your food from the grocery store to avoid some of those toxins that are in our food. Hey, what kind of feedback are you getting from the book? Because I know I read it when you did, and it's going live everywhere now. People can go to Amazon.com, just type in Awakening and Karina's name, type it in there, Karina. That's my niece's name, Karina. And Awakening. If you feel like you're not fully alive like you once were, or if you're just questioning things, you're not bouncing out of bed like Karina said, you don't have that joy and that excitement to face the day, and your energy reserves are depleted, there's a reason for that. Jump on Karina's calendar. She's going to give you a consult. You're going to want to buy her book. It's releasing on the 30th. So that's just a couple of days away. And type into the chat where you're watching us from. What was the toughest part about writing this book, Karina? Did you get stuck? And did it just flow out of you, or did you have to really work at writing it?
So my coach, which another part of coaching is changing habits, creating, letting go of limiting beliefs, right? Creating new good habits, exchanging your bad habits for good habits. And she would go, Karina, open your computer 10 minutes a day and start writing this damn book you talk about you want to write, because you said you want to share your story and you feel like it's going to help a lot of people, so write the book. And so I did. I would open my book 10 minutes, my computer 10 minutes a day, and I would write something that I wanted to talk about on the book. But what really changed, I went to the spiritual retreat about a year ago, and I just had a download. I'm like, and the universe was telling me, Karina, do the book. It's going to help people. Why aren't you doing the book right now? So I went home and I was like, I would not stop writing. And I would voice text on my notes when I was driving, because I would have an idea about like a chapter. I'd be like, I need to tell them this. And I'll voice text, and I come home and I'll write about that, so I wouldn't forget. And I was so inspired to share my story and to help people. And this book is to help people, is to, I really, if it can help 100 people change their lives, then I will feel very fulfilled. So but that spiritual awakening I had at the spiritual retreat, and then I came home and I did not stop writing this book, and it has been amazing. It's been a releasing for me, like we talk about journaling on coaching, how putting into paper things that you're going through are very releasing, while putting into a book is very releasing. So it was amazing.
Well, it's very well written. It's called Awakening. Grab it now, and you're going to want to read the first copy. Get it signed. Would be awesome. Karina is based out of Dallas, Texas, and she is speaking all the time at our Beyond Publishing events all over the country and all over the world, really. And just some good words coming in on the social media as people are watching around the country. Congratulations. And everybody is loving what you're throwing down here, and you're just changing lives. So talking about writing the book, I've helped a lot of people, Karina, write their books over the years, and it's been a fun process. We've published 789 titles at Beyond Publishing. I guess you're the 790th title, and we're actually launching 2 books on the 30th, so it'd be 790, 791, and very exciting to launch Awakening. But a lot of people do get stuck until they really feel that sense of urgency to help people, to change people's lives. It is so worth doing it. So what we're going to do, my first book, actually my second book I wrote, I've got my first book here. I'll just share a little bit. The first book I wrote was The Single Dad Survival Guide. Now, I was gonna launch bestseller status first. I had already written bestseller status. In fact, when I wrote bestseller status, the night I completed it, I thought I had it backed up. I thought I had emailed it to myself, and I realized when my computer crashed, all 88 pages of bestseller status died.
Oh,
And
no.
it was alive in my heart. However, so the next morning, after I grieved and had my morning coffee, I said, what the heck? I canceled all my appointments that day, and I rewrote this in just a few hours based on memory. It came out better than the original. I tell you how to get your book into bookstores. I tell you how to get on stages with your book. I tell you how to get other people promoting your book. And actually came out with the Single Dad Survival Guide first because Father's Day was coming up. And I realized there were a lot of resources for single moms, but not a lot of resources for single dads. This got me on a lot of podcasts. This got me a lot of media. And I launched that first. And then right after, a few months later, I launched bestseller status. This book has gone on to help hundreds of people write their book. This book has helped probably thousands of people by now write their book. And what I did during the pandemic is I turned this into a course. I actually turned it into a course and relaunched the book as Book Idea to Bestseller in 30 days. So I took all the content that originally made bestseller status a great book. I put it in Book Idea to Bestseller, and I added my 52 author secrets that I had done 52 videos on during the pandemic, where I addressed the 52 frequently asked questions that authors have when they're writing the book. And I put it into a course. And I taught it live during the pandemic, and I taught it live to 88 people wrote their book during the pandemic. And it was epic because we had 88 people publish their book, 88 people finish their book. And what I'm going to do next week is I'm going to launch a webinar, free webinar. I'm going to give you the RSVP link where you can actually sign up, where I'm going to teach you how to write your book in 1 hour. Now, Karina, have you ever been out speaking somewhere or attending an event and you meet somebody amazing and you're like, they should write a book, and you ask them, have you written your book yet? And they've been trying to write it for 3, 5, or 10. I think one lady was 29 years. Do you get that from people?
Oh yeah, I'm just in the mastermind in Florida, and I was talking about how my book is going to launch in the 30, and everybody's so excited. And you would not believe how many people talk about, oh, I started writing a book, but then I just like, who's going to buy? It's like that. What if, who's going to buy my book? Listen, somebody's going to buy your book. Somebody who relates to your story is going to love your book, and you're going to help. If you feel like you can help people, write the book.
Right.
It's about serving. It's about service. And that's what my life is about now. It's about serving, and I love it. And I just can't wait for people to read it. I can't wait I want change people's lives.
How long did it take you? I know you had a book coach, but like from idea to completion, how long did it take you to get it? 1 year. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to teach you, ladies and gentlemen watching, drop into the chat where you're watching from. I'm going to teach you how to write your book in 1 hour.
Oh my gosh.
You say 1 hour, 1 hour. I'm going to teach you how to write your book. I mean, there's no reason to wait. Don't hesitate. Let's write that book in 1 hour. Dan's watching from Kansas. Emily loves your book. She says, I'm super intrigued and I will be buying Karina's book. Thanks for sharing your story. In fact, I wanted to share the endorsement from Jen Duplessis, best-selling author of Tell Me I Can't. We ghost wrote her book as a busy CEO. She said, write this book for me, and she loved it. Awakening, she says, is a must-read for every woman wanting to finally claim her birthright. Thank you, Jen. We agree, and that's why we're promoting it everywhere. Debbie Adams is here in Tennessee. Hey, Debbie, we need to bring you on next week, Debbie, to talk about your book. Very excited. You got people watching from all over the country. We got Laramie, Wyoming here as well. So write your book. I got to tell you, I wrote this book in about 4 hours. And the reason I did, as you know, because I lost it the night before. Always have your book backed up, because you never know. You just never know. Now I have a nightly backup on everything. So go ahead and RSVP at beyondwebinar.com. You'll want to RSVP there, because next Wednesday on October the 4th, the first Wednesday of the final quarter of the year, you've been wanting to make an impact. Everybody tells you should write your book. I'm taking everything that I've distilled over the years, helping thousands of people write their book idea to bestseller, publishing 791 books by the end of this week, counting Karina's and Lisa Babari's book, The Powerful She, makes 791 books, and book idea to bestseller, America's publisher, shows you how to write, publish, and launch your book to global bestseller status. Literally, I'm going to condense this down and give it to you in 1 hour. And what we're going to do is we're going to create the white space. We're going to sit together, get quiet, and I'm going to ask you, why are you writing the book? And what do you want it to do for you? And once we figure that out, we can write the book backwards. And I'm going to show you what to put on the back cover. I'm going to show you how to write a chapter in 20 minutes. I'm going to show you how to create a title, subtitle, and a cover design. And we're going to go through all that. In an hour's time, you're going to know how to write your first book or your next book or your series of books. Because really, Karina, did you find as you wrote this book that you were ready to do another book? Don't you have some other books in your heart?
So as soon as I finished, I was like, oh, I finished this right now. Let's get it published. And that was until I found you. It was a little process. But, studying which path to take with the publishing. But now that is over. How did you
find us, by the way? Sorry to interrupt you. How did you find us?
So my husband was in this mastermind with Brooke, who co-wrote a book, Women in Real Estate.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how she published with you, and it was a great experience. So my husband said, hey, I heard about this publisher, blah, blah, blah. And I had talked to lots of people about publishing, lots of publishers out there. And so I talked to Brooke, and she said it was a great experience. Yes, definitely. And then I gave you a call, and you answered, so it was awesome.
So what day did you call me?
It was August, right? It was like no,
It was like August 30th. It was like exactly 1 month ago.
Yes, and I told you I wanted to do it in 1 month. I wanted to do it in 4 weeks, and you said no problem.
So here it is. It's launching on the 30th, releasing on the 30th. And congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Everybody's happy to see this all the way from Wyoming to Tennessee and beyond, and Utah and everywhere. So very exciting stuff. What was the hardest part about releasing this book?
Well, like not knowing, which way to go, like not knowing the publishing process, because was my first book. It was like doing all the research, right? And talking to a lot of people about, and feeling it, and trying to follow my intuition about the best way to do it. Am I going to self-publish? Am I going to, I knew I was going to self-publish, but I was going to do everything myself. Like there's lots of ads out there, Amazon, and you can do it yourself, blah, blah, blah. And but I felt like the other companies, what differs you from them is like that you stay with me on the whole process through the whole thing, and guide me through, and gave me direction and took care of me, which is, I think, that made it so much easier. So it wasn't hard at all. Once I found you, it was easy.
I've got a copy of Real Women in Real Estate. I'll go grab it here off the shelf in a moment. But that was a fun project. A lot of people don't realize there's so many moving parts to publishing. And you got the hardcover, you got the paperback, you got the ebook, you got the audiobook, you got the Amazon bestseller, creating an award-winning cover design that's going to sell books, but also communicate your brand. The number one reason nonfiction authors write a book is to create credibility. Creating credibility is huge, particularly when you've got a coaching program, particularly when you've got something of value like that you want to sell. And one thing we talked about too, and this was so important that your book did, because when it comes to nonfiction books, memoirs are the slowest moving category of book. And initially, when you're journaling your trauma and healing your pain cathartically by writing, it's really a memoir, and you're just pouring out your heart and your pain, right? But you did a beautiful thing that we encourage writers to do. And not every first-time writer gets this, and you really got it. And you implemented into your memoir the how-to steps, how to transform, how to overcome, how not to be a victim. And so that's really the powerful thing about it. So I want everyone to go to Amazon right now, but it's also available everywhere books are sold, Barnes & Noble, Chapters up in Canada, booksamillion.com, walmart.com, target.com. And I want to thank you for joining us today every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. right here on the Michael D Show, where we talk about faith, family, business, and culture. And we interview some amazing, amazing authors like we did Karina today. We've got other authors stopping by from around the globe. So today we had Brazil in the house. Just close this out. Give us a little glimpse of Karina as a 12-year-old girl in Brazil, and what kind of dreams did you have, and what kind of dreams do you have now for you and your kids now that you've got this book out?
So as a 12-year-old girl, I wanted to be a horse trainer, and that's what brought me to the United States. I had this passion for horses, and I thought, I want to go to Texas, where the land of the horse trainer, the connection between horse trainers and horse exists. And I am gonna, you're gonna have to read my book to see what happened. But
you did that. That's what you're doing. So
so I did come to the United States. I didn't turn out to be a horse trainer, but that was a blessing in disguise. And now, like I said, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I am so grateful that my children can feel like they can be whoever they want to be in this country. They can be whoever they want to be. As a woman, my daughter can be whatever she wants to be, and she is free to do that, and she's safe, So to be a mother and see your children thriving and being able to be themselves is amazing, because I wasn't able to do that at home, so so
This
my
is your
dream.
daughter going to University of Texas studying?
Yeah, she's going to Southwestern. She's loving it.
Mhm.
She's thriving there. My son is at OU. He's also thriving. So it's
Boomer
very,
sooner.
yeah,
Boomer sooner.
I know. So it's very rewarding.
So what was it like working with Beyond Publishing?
I mean, I don't want to sound like, because you're right in front of me, but it really was so easy. And it was so like, Michael is always a phone call away. Whatever questions I had, he was able to answer. He always text me or call me back right away. So it made it very, very pleasant. He's a very happy man. He's always smiling. I love that about you, Michael. And always available. So it's been great. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you.
Well, when you get to do the job I do and spend time with so many amazing authors like yourself, working with their stories, seeing them process their pain, but also see them get to the other side of their pain, which is the progress and the promotion that they bring to the rest of the world, the healing power of once you go through that. It was like my garden that I planted this year. And I grew up raising gardens with my family. We had a huge garden as kids. It was like 1 acre. And I planted a garden this year. And it was so therapeutic for me to get my hands into the dirt this year, because the garden, much like a book, you've got it on the inside of you, but a lot of authors never get the seeds up above the ground.
Yeah.
Because their dreams die on the inside of them and they never see the light of day because they never do the simple part of getting the seed in the ground. But there's things you've got to do to prepare. And on the webinar next week, go to beyondwebinar.com, go ahead and RSVP. And then if you're watching on the social media channels right now, just put in the drop this word in the chat or in my inbox, webinar, and I'll make sure that you get an invite. Karina, I want to wrap up with this because that was a great interview. I know you've got to run to your next interview. And so congratulations on that and the book. We have an affiliate program. So we have not spent hardly any money on marketing at Beyond Publishing. We've got authors in 64 nations now. And it's been because of affiliate partners and referral partners like yourself that refer us, because when you push your book out on social media and you're in a mastermind, everybody says, I've got a book I've been wanting to launch for 10 years. Yeah. Who did you use? And we get calls literally every day from people all over the world saying, I want to publish my book like Karina did. So Karina, this week, I'll send you our affiliate one-pager that rewards you for referring business to us. And if you're thinking about being an author, you don't get rich overnight from the book, but it's what the book does for you. It sets you up to legitimize you as a coach, to give you the credibility as a speaker, as an interviewee, to be on people's podcasts. You know, Karina, 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, when you were there in Dallas on the stage speaking, it was all because of your book. So be sure and follow Karina. I'm going to put her website up one more time. Jump on, ladies, for a free consult, a 30-minute consult that's very generous of you at karina.life. And if your life feels like you're stuck, you're in pain, you're not moving forward, or you just need an assessment, she will give you some free information to help you to see if you can work together. And she's got customized programs to help you move into your area of awakening as a woman. And her book is called Awakening from Medication to Meditation. So check it out, grab it, jump on our webinar that's coming next week at beyondwebinar.com. If you've had friends and family tell you, you need to write a book, you should finally write that book, come to the webinar hosted by the guy that's helped 791 people publish their book in 64 nations and hundreds of bestsellers. So thanks, Karina, for being with us today. Friends, have an epic week. And thanks for joining us on the Michael D Show, where we talk about faith, family, business, and culture, and horses. Thank you very much.
Thank you.